courtesy of FanDuel. The Rangers' bats are much, much better on the road, so let's take the over on the Texas team total. Next, let's ride with each team's top hitters. Kevin McGonigal to total 2+ hits, runs, and RBIs, and Josh Young to do the same. FanDuel is the home of home runs, so live bet the long ball with profit boosts on live home run bets every Sunday. Download the Sportsbook app now to play your game.
Sunday Night Baseball on Peacock is brought to you by T-Mobile. America's best network connects you to America's pastime. And now it is time for a look back at the week that was with the Sunday Night Baseball Buzz.
Every week has its moments.
Screws from his backside.
Its mastery.
Came out with a splitter.
Its memories.
How about a souvenir for that young fan?
And now and then, baseball reveals a pattern.
What a play!
Where the game seems to return to the same refrain.
Julio takeoff day.
Not once,
The J-Rod squad is pumped.
but twice.
2 mammoth shots out of here.
In Baltimore, the power was grand.
Adley hits a grand slam, and we need to get you a chicken wing. One of the weirdest grand slams you'll ever see.
And the duplication, grander still.
2 grand slams in one game.
To the belt. To the belt. Let's go.
A dynamic duo in Gotham.
A 2-run home run for Rice.
It's must-watch TV at this point.
The Yankees go back-to-back.
The 2-man wrecking crew.
Across the league,
Murakami has the power.
the theme and power travel.
Incoming.
Some plays demand a second look.
Wood track and brings it back.
This game demanded 2.
That one, it took all 6'6".
Even the fans doubled down. 2 turns to hold on.
This could be 2. It's a double play.
And Rhodes is going to tag the runner, and the ball game is over.
Sometimes there's no real rhyme or reason.
Not in time. The Phillies have walked it off.
Only that it happened twice.
The winning run twice in one day.
Because when the moments arrive,
2 outs. Tucker has his moment. A walk-off winner.
the pattern held true.
Matt Olson, it is gone. Truest magic tonight. A walk-off winner.
This week in baseball.
Yeah, so Anthony, all highlights right there, unless you're a Tiger fan on that last one. Matt Olson, that walk-off home run against Kenley Jansen. He has 3 blown saves on the season. We all had a chance to talk to A.J. Hinch about his bullpen, his plans for the back end of the bullpen. What was your big takeaway from what he said?
Well, I think AJ's been around for so long, and with Kenley, his track record at the end of the day is his track record. He's going to have 500 saves. He's a future Hall of Famer, so just ride the wave. This happens with closers. You're going to give up some home runs, and like AJ said, it was just a couple of home runs, and he's not worried at all.
Says he loves if he has Kenley back there, what he can do mixing and matching 6, 7, 8 in the innings, so this team is better with Kenley Jansen, at least right now, as the closer. Best of Sunday, what else has happened out there? We had our first Sunday leadoff game of the year. Blue Jays Twins won, but the starter Joe Ryan left after facing 2 batters. Elbow soreness. Phillies continue to win. 5-1 under Don Mattingly since the firing of Rob Thompson. Cubs beat the Diamondbacks, 11 straight wins at Wrigley Field. Longest win streak at home since 2008. Aaron Judge, Ben Rice, both homer. Yanks beat the Orioles 11-3, New York 13-2 in the last 15. We did those last 2 because of you, Anthony. But your big takeaway from what's happened so far today?
I mean, the bias in me obviously is the Cubs and Yankees,
Yeah.
but I think it's really cool with Phillies. It's very eerie of 2022
Yeah.
when they fired Joe Girardi. They made the manager change and they go to the World Series. So I think the boys down there in the Philly are a little rattled.
Yeah.
They're not happy with the slow start, but they know it's a long season.
All right, ending the day right here in Detroit. Mark Leiter for the Texas Rangers, a bullpen game. Tyler Holton starting for the Detroit Tigers. They hope they don't see Jake Rogers at the end of it, but you never know in stuff like this. It is Texas Rangers, Detroit Tigers, Jason Benetti, Dan Petrie, Mike Bassick with the call next.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. Been waiting all day for the stars who come and play. Now we just gotta say it's been too long, been too long. Sunday night, the show's about to start. Grab your seat just like you're at the park. Rest assured the best are here tonight. Greatest show and a diamond under the lights. You gotta see the show. It's a dynamo. You gotta see the show. It's a rock and roll.
Sunday night baseball. Rangers, Tigers.
Well worth the wait.
Day for the stars who come and play. There's one thing left to say. It's Sunday night, Sunday night. Welcome to the show. Sunday night, let's go. Welcome to Sunday night. Come and see the. Come on. See the show.
Tonight, the show arrives in Detroit. Welcome to Sunday Night Baseball on Peacock, presented by Capital One. All we know a month into the season is that we don't know anything about the American League West and the American League Central. Two divisions. The combined lead is 2 games for the leaders, for the Rangers and Tigers to chase. Thanks for joining us. As always, Jason Benetti with guys who know their clubhouses as well as anybody. Mike Bassick from the Rangers, Dan Petrie from the Tigers, 2 former pitchers. And we're going to start, of course, with the hitters. Kevin McGonigal and Josh Young have been breakout stars in the first month. Dan, let's start with the Tigers rookie, McGonigal.
Yeah, Kevin McGonigal, when you watch him on a daily basis, you just wonder, what is he going to do to wow you in that game? Will it be a fantastic defensive play, or will it be something that he does at the plate? He never seems to be fooled on a pitch or take an uncomfortable looking swing. And leading off in a game, he's going to put a lot of pressure on you. You better start throwing pitches or strikes right away, because he'll work you for a walk, foul off a lot of pitches, and first thing you know, you're in a high pitch count and you're only 1 batter deep into the game.
Boy, the Rangers' Josh Young is off to a fabulous start. He's having a resurrection from his 2023 All-Star World Championship year. The reason is the plate discipline. So much better in 26 rather than in 25. And then where the pitch is thrown, he's taking the ball where it's thrown. If you throw it on the outside corner, he'll hit you the opposite way. If you throw him inside, he'll pull it and take you deep. He uses the whole field right now. He's laying off the pitcher's pitches, and he's doing a great job. When he gets a pitch he can handle, he's hitting it hard.
He may see upwards of 5 pitchers in 5 at-bats today for the Detroit Tigers, who call it pitching chaos. They're short the injured Casey Mize, so Tyler Holton gets the start, though he's a bullpen arm. Anthony Rizzo is inside the pitch with us downstairs in some very plush seats today. When you see a bunch of pitchers in a game, Anthony, how does that change your prep?
Well, the homework's already been done. It's the 3rd game of the season. You've seen a few of these relievers before, so you really just lock in on the first guy you're going to see here on Holton, and then as they come, you just get on the iPad, you get the scouting reports, and you go from there.
Let's give you the Capital One starting lineup for these Texas Rangers, who only saw 1 run cross yesterday. It's a team that's in the bottom 3rd in home runs this year, but they've been much better on the road so far this season. You see Young in the 4th spot. Andrew McCutchen is a key here in the 2 position, in part because they feel like he might see a couple at bats versus left-handed pitchers today with Holton starting.
Yeah, that's the look is, and if another lefty comes in later in the game, he gets maybe another at bat because of Nimmo and Seager sandwiching him.
Beautiful night for baseball in what has been a rather frigid series, but around 60 degrees at first pitch tonight. Tyler Holton is on the hill. He'll face Brandon Nimmo. It's the Rangers and Tigers, and we are underway on Sunday Night Baseball. Brennan Miller, the native of Virginia, has the plate, and Nimmo A 10-year veteran of the Mets, who New York certainly misses this year. The left-hander out of the great state of Wyoming swings through a sinker, 1-1.
He's done a great job of this year getting on base and also with 2 strikes fouling off a lot of pitchers and making the pitcher work for that strikeout or the ground out.
Certainly pitch count will matter for the Tigers. Tyler Holton, Dan, has been something of a Swiss Army knife for A.J. Hinch the past couple of years.
Yeah, and he's no stranger to being an opener. He's opened 15 times or started 15 times in the last 2 years. But he's had some rough outings. He's given up multiple runs in 3 out of his last 4 outings. So this might be one of those appearances that really gets him going.
Strong take by Nimmo on that breaking ball, 2-2.
That cutter's a really important pitch for Tyler, especially to right-handers.
And so here is one of those long counts from Nimmo as the opening batter. Here's what Tyler Holton uses. And Dan, the idea is that he would get lefties and righties out.
And that's why AJ puts him into this particular spot. And he's not guaranteed just to go 1 inning. He can certainly go multiple innings.
On 2-2, Nimmo pushes it into center field. That's an opening base hit for Texas.
That's a veteran that doesn't mind hitting with 2 strikes or against lefties.
He's at first, and here is the defense for the Tigers, which A.J. Hinch was honest with us. He said this has not been as good of a defensive team as we hope to be. It's Green, Vierling, and Perez in the outfield. McGonigal has taken up position at shortstop with the injury to Javier Baez for the Tigers, and there is A.J. Hinch now working on a half-decade as the manager of the Detroit Tigers and postseason runs the last 2 years.
You know, I think AJ still believes that this team will be a good defensive ball club. You know, Cole Keith has made a lot of strides over at third base. Kevin McGonigal's, I don't care where he's played, he's been very solid. And Hao Yu Lee has been very steady at second base.
Check swing, no go, 2-0. Andrew McCutchen, drafted in 2005, 39 years old. A 5-time All-Star, and he stands in as the 2-hitter for the Rangers today. That's a strike, 2-1. Anthony Rizzo knows him from a wild card round from 11 years ago.
Yeah, he's still doing it. It's impressive what he keeps doing. A little bit of a different role this year, just facing majority of lefties, but he's settling into it, and kudos to Kutch for still doing it.
He takes one of those cutters, 3 balls and a strike on McCutchen.
He makes me feel young because he's one of the last players in baseball I actually faced. When he was coming up, I heard about this young kid in Indianapolis that the Pirates liked a lot in AAA.
The Indianapolis Indians of the International League. There's a swing and a miss. 3-2.
That's the pitch that's very important for Tyler, is that backdoor cutter to the right-handed hitters, especially when he's in a hitter's count, 3-1. Throws that cutter and just nips the outside corner.
Pivotal early pitch. Nimmo at first, 3-2. And it's one of those cutters. How did you do against Andrew McCutchen, Mike Bassett?
I don't remember.
Sure you don't.
I do remember, unfortunately, I told my manager, Tim Foley, I got Craig Wilson. I know how to get him out. And then he hit a home run late in the game to beat us. So it's the last time Tim Foley ever asked me what I thought about facing a guy.
Strong relationship. 3-2 to McCutchen, and he swats it in the air for right field. It's a long run for Perez, who is camped to make the catch for out number 1. So 1 down for Corey Seager, who's been around the block. He's 32 years old. He's seen the postseason in so many ways, and Skip Schumacher said to us before the game, he's the last person I would ever worry about in a clubhouse.
His preparation for the game is like no other. He gets here early. He works so hard to be ready for each individual game.
He takes a strike, 0-1.
You were telling us, too, the other day that Corey Seager's played around with his stance a little bit, maybe has gone a little bit more open.
He's switched during this series. At some at-bats, he's been open, and then here he's a little bit more square. I'd love to hear from Anthony on changing stances.
Yeah, I think as a hitter, you're just constantly searching for that feel. And maybe against the lefty, he's staying a little more square to stay in there more. But with Corey, just hearing him and knowing him a little bit, he's so meticulous with what he wants to do at the plate. He always has a plan when he's up there.
How meticulous, Anthony?
From what I've heard and just talking to him a little bit, I mean, he knows when he's right, and he's always searching for that constant slot. But he's usually aggressive. I like the takes. It seems like early on this entire lineup is trying to grind them out.
1-2, wave and a miss on a breaking ball from Holton, and 2 gone.
Just very important, as always, to get ahead. And once you get ahead, you can tease them with that sweeper and get them to expand the strike zone. And that's what Tyler Holton did in that at bat.
So 2 down, first inning for Josh Young, and that is going to be it for Tyler Holton. It's early chaos. Tigers dip into the bullpen. First time, not the last time. Is Brennan Hanafy, a right-handed sinker baller who will face Josh Young. And A.J. Hinch told us before the game he'd like to get Hanafy in against a right-handed pocket in the order. We didn't expect it would be the first right-handed pocket of the order. But it's important to Major League Baseball teams now, Dan, to not have relievers see a lot of the same guys in a series.
It is, but I think A.J. also is taking his hat off to Josh Young and just saying, man, we respect how hot you are, and we're going to come at you with Hanafy, who's got that really good sinker, and try to put him away.
Fly ball right field side, and that'll drop foul. So this graphic shows you who's seen who in the series. And
that's what A.J. does. Even though he's going to have to use a lot of pitchers in this game, because Brennan Hanafy pitched in Friday, he says, you know what, I want to try to pick a pocket where he's not going to face the same hitters that he did already in the series. So he's going to choose the hitters that he'll say, oh, I'm going to keep him in for just this spot, just one at bat, and that's it.
Young hadn't seen him, but Young pushes a ball into right field with 2 strikes. Mike, he just wands it out to right.
Living right in 2026. This is a good pitch. I think it breaks the bat, yep. But when you're hot, you're hot. Now for Nimmo, he is dealing with a little bit of a hamstring injury. If he didn't have that, he might have gone to third base there, but he's being very careful with that.
Brennan Hanafy usually just tears up right-handed hitters, but so far when he was sent down to Toledo, right-handers were hitting over 300. Left-handers he was having success with.
What do you make of that?
And I think that's what he went down. He says, I want to hurry up and get back up here, so I got to prove that I can get left-handers out. I know I can get right-handers out, but I need to get left-handers out. So he's using that changeup more to the left-handed hitters.
Power for hire. Jake Berger shoots that ball foul to the right side. 0-2.
Berger likes the cheddar up.
Makes sense.
If you can keep the ball on the outer half of the plate, he will chase. He steps towards the shortstop. So from a righty's perspective, that outside corner is always open against Berger.
Would you spin him a breaking ball away right here on 0-2, Mike?
I would. This is a great time right here. You got him fishing that last one to show something that's on the outer half of the plate that then breaks down and away out of the zone.
And Brennan does have a slider. It goes that sinker, slider, changeup.
There it was, and he pulled it with that idea in mind.
Yeah, it was. I felt like the right pitch. Good situation to use it. He just didn't execute the pitch.
Yeah, it's that ball out of hand. You want to try to make it a little bit closer than that, but the one thing is that now Jake Berger has seen that slider.
Right back to it. It's topped foul, 1-2.
That was a good job by Berger fouling off that pitch. That's really all he can do with that pitch. He's hoping you hang it on the inner half of the plate. If you do, he can make this game 3-0. If not, you should get an out.
And then Brennan Hanafy sometimes will throw that swing back sinker on the outside part of the plate, hoping that Jake Berger would give up on it.
That's that pitch you're talking about, and he just got a very small piece of it. He actually got less of it than Rogers caught behind the dish. But this is what you're talking about, Dan.
Yeah, and well executed. And nice job by Berger to get a piece of it. A lot of times hitters will give up on it because it moves so much. that they'll say, well, you threw me a slider. I'm going to let that go because I think it's another slider, and it comes back and catches it, but Berger did a nice job to get a piece.
There's the slider. There's strike three. Hannafy does execute, and we are scoreless through a half inning in Detroit. The Tigers, they are at 500. Their lineup is presented by Capital One, and there is that rookie Kevin McGonigal, an OPS just south of 900. He's from the Philadelphia area. He grew up idolizing Chase Utley. He kind of acts like Chase Utley while we're at it, is what A.J. Hinch said to us before the game, Dan Petrie.
Yeah, he just plays the game so hard. He loves it. He's having a lot of fun, but he is just a hard-nosed baseball player.
He attacks the first pitch and pops it up. Third base side, Josh Young makes the catch, and there is one away. So the starting pitcher for the Rangers, 26-year-old Jack Leiter, who a couple of years ago showed up on the major league landscape in this ballpark and has changed some since then.
Very hyper young man when he came up to the big leagues here in Detroit. In fact, he was stalking the dugout 3 hours before the game and drinking an energy drink, and I was like, you do not need an energy drink right now.
Here's Matt Vierling. You know, in baseball, though, that can calm people down.
The energy drink?
Somehow.
He was very excited. Much more mature here in 2026 than the first time in 2024.
0-1 to Matt Vierling. 0-2 on a Tigers utility player who plays infield and outfield. But Leiter this year, lefties, no matter how you look at it, through one camera or two, lefties have had a better season against him than right-handers.
Last year he got the kick change going in the second half of the season, which was great, and it stayed good arm side. This year he's pulled that a little bit, and lefties are taking advantage.
The Tigers have 3 left-handers in the first 4 batters. This is a Tigers team that stole 4 bases yesterday, but you see those splits, they're pretty massive. And the Tigers thrive on opponent's splits. That is a hot fastball to the top of the zone from Leiter to strike out Vierling.
From a right-handed perspective, this is one of the best high fastballs in the game. I think a Wu with Seattle, who has a great one too, but when Leiter gets ahead in the count, he can really bully you with that fastball at the top of the zone or above it.
That fastball's got that large induced vertical break, and that's why it just has that jump right at the end and the hitter swing right underneath it.
Here is Colt Keith to take a strike. Dan, for the uninitiated, the induced vertical break meaning?
Just that it doesn't sink as much as they do. It's coming at you, and you think it's going to sink and go right into your bat, and it just stays true and looks like it almost rises when it gets to the plate.
Anthony Rizzo's down there. He's like, there is a reason I retired.
No doubt. These pitchers right now, especially Jack coming out throwing 98, establishing that fastball. I would look to him to go back to it here again and just keep establishing the fastball against these guys.
Anthony Rizzo inside the pitch with us today. You see those left-handed splits, Anthony. What is it for lefty batters like you were that makes Jack Leiter kind of hittable early in the year?
Well, if his changeup isn't working, it's really the 2-pitch mix, maybe the 3 with the cutter if he's throwing it. But for me, I was able to kind of mix the cutter with the slider on guys like this. So really just staying on the fastball, knowing that that's his best pitch, and then working off of that.
He'll go 1-2 for Keith, and he drops in the slider. Strike 3. Impressive first inning for Jack Leiter in a 1-2-3 first. Here's a look from the batter's box. 2-2, America's pastime. And our pastime here in Detroit today is there's a strike from Brennan Hannafy to Evan Carter. Something about first inning pitching changes on NBC networks today. The Joe Ryan injury in our opening Sunday leadoff game of the year. He went just 2 batters, and he's being evaluated for elbow soreness. The ace for Minnesota. Big news in the AL Central. And then the Tigers go 3 batters with Tyler Holton, and Brennan Hannafy came in to clean up the rest of the top of the first. That was by design for A.J. Hinch, who told us before the game, guys, there's a plan, but there's not really a guaranteed lock of a plan. He just goes with the flow of the game.
Yeah, and he's not going to tip off Skip Schumacher what he's going to do or who's the second pitcher either. You're never going to let him know, well, you know, Tyler Holton could go multiple innings, or I might just make a change in the first inning. You know, he just goes in, and so it makes it really hard for Schumacher to set his lineup because he doesn't know in what order any of these pitchers are coming in.
He has a guess that Brant Herter will be next, as we just saw him loosening in the Tigers bullpen.
Well, I'll tell you, Evan Carter is so happy that a right-hand, he might be 2-2 right now, but he's pumped up that he's getting a righty his first at bat.
Most of his damage this year has come against right-handed pitchers as he takes ball 3.
You know, they gave him the number 32 and 23 when he came up because his nickname's Full Count Carter, and here he is again in a full count.
It's the reverse of his age. The 23-year-old outfielder rolls over it to second base, and the rookie Hao Yu Lee from Taiwan makes the throw. There's one away. Mike Bassick, riddle us this. The Rangers at home are 30th in runs per game, 2.5 per. Tied for 9th on the road, and the Rangers have played some tough road teams.
It's tough to explain. I do think it's become, and I'd love to hear from Rizzo's perspective, a little bit mental, because last year was such a tough year at the Globe in Arlington that I do think it's in the guys' heads a little bit about how that park plays bigger than other parks.
Yeah, it definitely plays a lot bigger. There's a lot of factors that go into that. Playing in the dome, honestly, the camera angle there is very strange as well as a hitter. So when you're looking at video there, it's really hard to dissect your swing. It's a lot easier on the road. I always knew when I went to the new Globe Life, that camera angle was so high, and for us hitters, we're so particular with how we like things. So who knows what it is? Sometimes you just need to get on the road and get those good vibes flowing to get back home and enjoy the home cooking.
What is it about the video that makes it hard to dissect your swing?
They have the big hitter's eye there in Texas, and it kind of comes straight down, so it's just a different angle that you're not used to seeing as a hitter. So when you go back to look at your swings and where the pitches were, it could mess with you a little bit. I'm not saying it's an excuse. I just personally I always took it in with a grain of salt looking at my video when I played at Globe Life.
You know, Anthony, when I go back and I look at pitcher stuff, because of that camera angle, it doesn't look like the stuff as it would be live. I mean, it's strange. It's like you look and you say, well, that curveball really doesn't even, drop or break. And then you see it live and it really moves a lot. Is that the same kind of idea? The pitcher stuff looks completely different when you get in the box?
It does, yeah. It's so high and so steep that you really need to trust your eyes there because you're not really sure where the height is of the ball and the break and the depth of all of it. So I totally agree with that.
Josh Smith, sky-high fly ball to left. Riley Green makes the catch. Pitching chaos successful so far for Detroit. Came in this ballpark. It was April the 18th, 2024. He got staked to a 4-0 lead, but then Javi Baez a base hit. Riley Green tripled against him. Kerry Carpenter tripled against him. Spencer Torkelson hit one to the alley in left field, and Leiter was out after 3 2/3 in a high-scoring game. But again, that first inning he just showed was high voltage.
Well, his fastball now, he has more command of other pitches as we see first pitch curveball in for a strike. If you saw those highlights, they were all fastballs in the middle. He was falling behind, and I played with his father, Al, in 02 and 03 with the Mets, and he said, well, he was able to do that at Vanderbilt. He's able to do that in AA and AAA, bully his fastball by guys. But after you throw first pitch curveball at 80, then the next pitch at 98, now the guy can't sit on that fastball.
0-2 to Riley Green, and he clips it in and out of the glove of the catcher for the Rangers, Higashioka.
Boy, those 3 pitches were out of the same keyhole, weren't they?
Yes.
I mean, that curveball, then the 4-seam fastball, right where the curveball started, and then a changeup in almost the same location.
I know that he wants that changeup to dip more. That one stayed up a little bit too much with 2 strikes.
fastball buzzsaw inside of the hands to Riley Green, the two-time All-Star.
Dan, do you think he has him set up here? You know Green well. Change up down and away here?
You know, I just saw something from Riley Green. He's been laying off that high fastball.
There's that changeup.
And he swung through it. I thought maybe he might try to climb the ladder again, because Riley Green's been laying off that high fastball and having him bring it down.
Two young, talented 20-somethings, Green and Leiter. There's a slider to Riley Green, who has tried, Dan, to get more selective at the plate, especially in two-strike situations.
And he has. He's shortened things up again. Instead of trying to hit it 500 feet, he's saying 2 strikes, I'm going to try to get a base hit.
Oh, man, high fastball to the attic. 3 straight strikeouts for Leiter.
And he is on right now. It's early in the game, but that 4-seam fastball above the zone, Rizzo, I'd love. How tough is that pitch to lay off of right there?
Well, especially after the first pitch or the last pitch slider there, and then he goes to the high fastball. I mean, Higashioka right now is calling a great game on the plate, and Jack is executing beautifully.
What do you like most about Higashioka's game calls so far, Anthony?
Well, just setting up Riley there. I mean, I think he went with the changeup away, then he goes to the back foot slider. He hasn't seen that yet with 2 strikes. He fouls that off. That's the one pitch he hasn't seen all at bat, and then he goes back to the high fastball. So Higgy's back there. He's so good back there at calling a game and game planning, and it's paying off right now for Jack and his execution.
0-2 to Torkelson. He tested him with a high fastball again.
I mean, he is coming at you, strike 1, strike 2. And as a hitter, when that's happening, you just feel like you're on you're playing defense the entire time while you're on offense.
1-2. Another heater. All-out blitz from Leiter so far. 4 straight strikeouts.
This is spectacular right now. This is number 2 overall pick. This is future ace stuff. This is the best that Leiter's looked all year so far.
Well, you can tell that 4-seam fastball, like I said, Riley Green has been letting those go and not swinging at him, and he got him to chase that one. Spencer Torkelson was on a heater, hitting every fastball that was thrown his way for home runs, and he just threw that fastball right by him.
You mentioned Dad Al, Mike, who had a marvelous major league career. Uncle Mark as well was a 3-year Tiger from 91 to 93, and Jack is throwing fire so far. He was the 2nd overall pick in 2021. The next pick was the Tigers' Jackson Jobe. They were both behind Henry Davis, who was 1st overall, the Pittsburgh Pirates selection. Absolutely disgusting sequences from Jack Leiter.
This is the best you'll see in baseball tonight.
Manager of the Texas Rangers, 6 batters, 5 strikeouts for your starter, Jack Leiter. What of all of that impresses you the most?
He's throwing strikes at the top of the zone. He's got a real power fastball that he's really effective when it's strike 1, because the result of the changeup is even better. And so right now he's got the fastball and changeup working against some really good lefties.
Take us behind the curtain, if you could, into the clubhouse. You got some veteran starters on this staff. What have they done to try to help bring Jack along?
Yeah, how this thing becomes sustainable is you have DeGrom and Evo sitting next to guys like Jack Leiter in between starts. And I know he grew up in a really good household, right, with his big league dad, but he also has some guys sitting next to him, not only navigating a game, but also pitchability, and this is how Jack gets better and better every start.
Thanks, Skip.
Thank you.
Only A.J. Hinch would make a pitching change during another manager interview. FanDuel's the home of home runs this season. Here's a live look at FanDuel's home run odds for tonight's game. The only thing that graphic's missing is a picture of Anthony Rizzo on it.
Yeah, me in the bar. Big Swing Sunday. Me and Blake Griffin in the bar. That was a fun commercial shoot.
You're everywhere. You know that? You got the podcast going. You're doing commercials. You're talking to Kyle Higashioka as he's getting ready to hit.
Yeah, no, it's been a good year. Took the year off last year. Welcoming our baby boy, Anthony Jr., and now this year back on the circuit. So it's been a fun year so far.
We are glad to have you. As Brant Herter enters the game, he's the third pitcher for the Tigers, Dan Petrie.
Yeah, Brant's throwing the ball really well, and he's a guy that really kicked off this whole pitching chaos 2 years ago. He was one of the ones where you'd have an opener and then a bulk guy, and Brant Herter would go 4 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings sometimes, and now he's more into that maybe 1 or 2 inning at a time now.
This is a guy for me that I actually learned this from Jock Peterson here on the Rangers. He's not playing today, but he doesn't have a lot of overpowering stuff. So when you watch him against lefties, it just doesn't make sense why guys aren't hitting him better as a lefty, because he's dominant against them. So this is a guy I would just move up on the box and do something different against.
Strike 3. It's a 2-seamer to the outer third, and Herter strikes out Nimmo.
You know, Anthony, just a left on left because of his size. He's like 6'5", 6'6", and he steps right at you, and it almost like that sweeper starts behind you. How do you stay in against a guy like this?
Well, you just got to trust your eyes, and if it doesn't, it hits you. That was always my mentality. I wanted him to feel more comfortable than I felt. Him being that big with that kind of crossfire release, it's not a comfortable at bat left on left. So I wanted to try to make him feel more uncomfortable than I did.
You try to take it the other way?
No, for me, I was always trying to pull lefties. I was on top of the plate, and I wanted them to start it at me and just try to pull it. And if I went the other way, it was just by staying inside the ball.
Folks at home, you're listening to a guy who was hit by a pitch 222 times in his major league career.
Didn't give an inch.
No, he didn't.
Which one hurt the worst?
I think the last one, when I broke my 2 knuckles right before the playoffs in 2024. First time breaking a bone in my life. Or second time, but first from a hit by pitch.
Dare I ask what the first one was?
Earlier that year, I had a collision at first base in Boston and broke my elbow, broke my arm.
Oof.
Happens fast.
Yeah, life comes at you fast, right? 2-2, McCutchen hits it in the air, right side of the infield. Hao Yu Lee fading back. It's a windy day here in Michigan, and Hao Yu Lee found that out real fast. No scores, Sunday Night Baseball.
Season debut of Pitching Chaos. From a level of enjoyment, where does a Pitching Chaos game rank for you?
Well, I love that our guys are all in to do whatever it takes. We have a bunch of guys who come in and get their guys, and when it goes like this the first 3 innings, I've been on the mound twice, get our outs and get it to the next guy in the good pocket.
Please be honest with me. Do you think this is more difficult for you or for Skip?
Probably Skip, just because I get to choose right away which guy we want him to enter against. You saw that we do that in the first inning. We did it again with Herter. Doesn't make it easy to get their guys out, but they have to adjust to whatever we do. Thanks, AJ. All right.
So last week on Sunday Night Baseball with the Royals and Angels, we had Professor Chaos. That's Zach Neto. That's the nickname Mike Trout has given Neto. He used a bat that said Professor Chaos on it last year. Now we have Pitching Chaos. And we'll see if we have it again next week with the Tigers on Sunday Night Baseball. But the Tigers have gotten grand success out of necessity being the mother of invention. A lot of injuries 2 years ago, Dan Petrie, and the Tigers used this tactically to get themselves into the playoffs.
They did, and you know, they kept saying that it's not really sustainable to do this all the time.
That's a strike. Lee went 0-2.
Eventually you would burn out your bullpen, but if you can do it every now and then, it's going to work. Or like I was mentioning before, when you have a bulk guy that can give you some length like 4, 5, and 6 innings, you might be able to save some of your arms.
The Rangers don't look like they're going to have that issue tonight with the way Jack Leiter is throwing. He's halfway to his career high in strikeouts with 5 already.
He's probably disappointed that Perez put the ball in play.
Yeah, he was working on 5 straight. And Lee charges up a swing at 99 that time.
Yeah, the last 2 pitches. He can get to triple digits. I mean, I tell you what, Jack Leiter never misses a leg day.
It's the perfect angle. 1-2. Pulled a slider, 2-2.
He will show emotion if he doesn't like what he throws. His father, Al, was a little bit similar to an emotional pitcher on the mound. Jack right there didn't like that breaking ball, didn't execute it. He usually won't be calm afterwards. He does a little pirouette.
2-2 busts Lee. That fastball has been sizzling tonight.
Boy, call up Kerry Wood and Roger Clemens and Randy Johnson and let them know what's going here on Peacock NBC Sunday Night Baseball.
Well, how about the location too, though? I mean, it's high velocity, but he's putting it right where he wants it, and just exactly where the hitter's weakness is.
And Dan, when you're throwing a curveball and a slider for a strike first pitch, it just sets up that bully fastball late.
And the first pitch strikes are incredible too.
He's 9 for 9 first pitch strikes. And by the way, this week 40 years ago is the anniversary. It was April the 29th of the first 20 strikeout game in Major League history. It was Roger Clemens at Fenway Park back in 1986. As Jake Rogers hits this ball in the air. Andrew McCutchen coasts over. That's 9 up, 9 down for Leiter so far. Could be one of those nights.
The beach. To Corona, she isn't just a place. She is an element. And with salt and spray, she shoves us relentlessly into the present. That's what's inside every bottle of Corona. So no matter where your journey takes you, with just a squeeze of lime, the beach is always closer than you think. Corona, La Playa awaits.
Starting the game. That's the way we broke it down. And the Tigers are pretty well at 500 in those quote-unquote bullpen pitching chaos games. And you know, you think about the overall record in the league, Dan, compared to that, to stay afloat when you've had pitching injuries like this has been a bit of a superpower for this Tigers team.
I would have thought that record would have been a little bit better, and maybe it wasn't quite as good last year, but just seemed like in 2024 it was a strategy that really paid off and kind of shot them out of nowhere to come in and get the wild card.
There's strike 3 very quickly to the 2-time World Series MVP Corey Seager. Brant Herter mows him down.
Well, there's that Anthony Rizzo talked about. How do you hit that thing? That starts behind him. I mean, it's behind him and keeps sweeping, and it hits that outside corner.
Yeah, the deception, it looks like, is just unreal with his extension and everything. So, like I said, this is a guy, a lefty, that is so dominant against lefties. I would move up in the box, I'd move off the plate, or I'd move on top of the plate, depending on how I was feeling that day.
This popped up first base side. Spencer Torkelson on the run, and he fades into fair ground and sticks the landing. 2 down. It's the type of day in Michigan where your patio furniture gets knocked into the front yard, and Torkelson lived all of that on that adventure.
That's a tough angle for a first baseman. It's a really nice play. I thought Josh Young was going to get lucky there and get another hit in this game.
I love how he put his head down, torqued there, and just ran to a spot and then peeked back up to see where the ball was.
Why does that matter so much, Anthony?
You know, a lot of times on those plays, that wasn't as do or die, but you just got to put your head down, run to a spot, and you know where the ball is off the bat as an infielder. So sometimes guys get caught up with just looking at the ball the whole time and kind of spin themselves around.
And I think he also knew that ball was going to come back a little bit too, so he didn't go all the way towards the stands, knowing it was going to bring it back towards the line, so he got in that good position.
Our director, Corey Newmy, found every flag in a 5-mile radius around the ballpark as you guys were talking, and they are going crazy. Straight winds about 20 miles an hour, and there are the remaining flags that we didn't see. And then round up. Beautiful setting for a Major League Baseball game here in Detroit. The winds of change pushed through with Game 7 going to the Pistons earlier, and Rangers minority owner Cade Cunningham.
He would have an issue if he came to this game, right?
Yeah. Who do you pick? I mean, I guess if you are a minority owner, you probably root for that team, but you keep it quiet.
Are they celebrating right now?
They have to be, and probably for the rest of the night. 2-2, and Jake Berger rolls it to third. That's a look at the approach on Colt Keith, who throws it on to first to retire the side. We promise runs at some point, but not yet. You know what that music means. The NBA playoffs presented by Google. How about the 76ers all the way back against the Celtics last night? Tyrese Maxey ended up with a ball in his hands. They will take on the New York Knicks. Timberwolves Spurs. Some good news on Anthony Edwards. Looks like he's questionable for Game 1. Cleveland Toronto going on right now over on NBC in Game 7. The winner of that gets those Pistons and Lakers Thunder as well. As folks are bundled up and maybe doing the doubleheader thing today.
Bad boys are back in Detroit.
That is a tough, mentally tough team as McGonigal takes a ball as you figured he might, Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, I like Higgy calling the fastball there and Jack going to the fastball. McGonigal is usually a pretty patient hitter, so just to keep establishing that fastball. Takes a strike here now. Now he's kind of opened him up to he can go anywhere.
But you like the fastball, even though he swung at a first pitch fastball last time.
Yeah, because as a hitter, you don't think he's going to go to it, but you still want to stay aggressive. I would have liked to see him stay aggressive there, because Jack has came out and has told us all he's throwing strikes. And on the flip side for Jack, if he was to go with a different pitch other than the fastball, I would like to change up, fading away there, if the hitter's going to be aggressive first pitch. I do think the Tigers now, second time around, will be a lot more aggressive against Leiter.
On the fastball specifically or overall?
I just think overall he's pounding the strike zone. So you're in there second time around. You want to stay within your approach, but sometimes you have to audible real quick in this game. And Jack's pounding the strike zone.
1-2 to McGonigal, and he takes up and out on one of those changeups. 2-2.
This is where Kevin gets really good, though. As hard as Leiter is throwing, he can still see that ball really deep and foul a lot of good pitches off. Any of those secondary pitches, he just sees it real well and stays up there a long time.
Another lazy fly ball. This is Ezekiel Duran, who was originally scheduled to play right field. A late switch had him in left. Members get even more during the Xfinity Members Celebration. Get exclusive experiences only with Xfinity now through May 10th on the Xfinity app. It's such a good celebration, it's hard to focus. That was an ad-lib. One down for Vierling. 10 up, 10 down for Texas's Leiter. Okay, you played with Dad Al.
Yes.
Compare and contrast the two.
Well, you know, what's funny is Al was such a cutter in to righties guy. Not much of a changeup guy, but he did want to bully that fastball. He didn't have Jack's fastball, but he had a good fastball. It's pretty much fastball cutter, where Jack just learned a cutter this year. He learned it from Garrett Crochet, which I was very confused since that was Al's pitch that he didn't learn it from his dad.
You would think at some point you just say, hey, quick thing. Remember that pitch you went to a couple All-Star games with?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
You won a couple of big games with in the playoffs, and said, no, I'll go learn that from Crochet.
2-1 to Vierling. On the ground to second base, Smith. 11 up 11 down. But, you know, I mean, so he didn't get the cutter from Dad, but he did change his jersey number to honor Dad.
Yeah, and luckily he was able to. When he came up to the big leagues, Jonathan Gray had number 22. So not on the team anymore. That number became available. And I know when he got drafted, they gave him a number 22 jersey when he signed out of Vanderbilt. So it just looks right with Leiter on the back.
Did you wear your dad's number?
No, whatever number they gave me, I was just so happy to wear, and then just really hope they wouldn't call me back into the office, because it was never positive news when I was in the big leagues and they called me in the office. And I would always...
We have an ABS challenge. It's powered by T-Mobile. It's a strike for now. Colt Keith challenges for the Tigers, and it is a strike.
That call is confirmed. Detroit has 1 challenge remaining.
These are 2 teams that across the league have not been a high-frequency challenge group. But Skip Schumacher said after 7 of 10 games, he felt like they were under-challenging. They've pushed that number up. A.J. Hinch's team has not challenged much at all by fielders, a little bit more by batters. But it does feel, guys, like the league is trying to challenge more.
Yeah, and it's tough. It's a new rule, and then you're worried about probably Rizzo. I don't know if upset's the right word, but your batters later in the game if you use one early.
Center field. Hold that thought, Anthony. We are playing speed baseball here tonight. No score to the 5th. Peacock is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And by T-Mobile, America's best network, connects you to America's pastime. Some of the greats to come through both Texas and Detroit. You see Mickey Tettleton there with one of the calmest stances in Major League history at the plate. There's a bunt. Foul from Evan Carter. Okay, Bassick. All right. Tell them what you said during the break.
Be ready for a bunt first pitch. Carter does not like hitting off of lefties, and he's been pretty good at bunting a few times this year. And Travis Jankowski, the first base coach, has encouraged him to try to bunt more off lefties.
See, that's one of those where we should let fans as an auction item just come into the booth for a half inning during a break to hear you do that.
When you follow a team, you start really understanding their tendencies.
It is amazing as this goes rolling towards shortstop. It's McGonigal on the charge, and he handles out number 1. Now you're cutting promos for our format, Bassick.
Boy, this is a great play, and McGonigal makes it, gets rid of it quick for a 21-year-old. And we were just showing baseball cards. I was looking up some of McGonigal's best rookie cards that have been selling. $10,000 to $15,000. So there's some Tiger fans spending money on Kevin McGonigal.
Really?
Yeah.
Now you didn't say Duran might bunt on first pitch too.
Well, I didn't expect that, but they have been the Rangers at home in early work have been working a lot on bunting, and Skip Schumacher, the Cardinal way, he does believe that bunts can lead to runs.
It's a chopper testing McGonigal again, and he aced him. 2 strong plays from the rookie Kevin McGonigal, Dan.
Yeah, we made a play in last night's game over going towards the hole at shortstop and showing off that arm with all of his momentum going the other way. But it's all about that first break when he gets that little hop and then gets that good break to charge in and get that. But you see his glove was straight down just as he fielded that ball, and it just hopped right into his glove and went right after him.
First pitch base hit for Josh Smith for Texas. That's just the 3rd hit of the game. Anthony, can you just see demeanor-wise the Chase Utley comparisons with McGonigal?
Oh, absolutely. Kid just looks like a grinder, and his whole game, I've heard nothing but good things about him, and getting to watch him here live is fun, and I can't wait to see his career, unfold right in front of us.
8 years, $150 million is the deal that he signed about a week and a half ago. It kicks in starting next year with Detroit.
And that's the thing about, they don't stop developing once they get to the major leagues. I mean, so he's off to such a great start. Just how good is he going to get?
And That's why Mike's bidding on his rookie card right now.
I need him to come down just a little bit. I do. I collect baseball cards, and I would love some McGonigal rookie cards, but I'm not going to that price yet. The shortstop position in Major League Baseball is the strongest it's ever been.
Especially leading off, too. That's what people don't understand as a young player. It is very hard to lead off in the big leagues, to come around in the 9th inning, get the 5th at bat, sometimes a 6th at bat. It takes a mental toll on you over and over again, and to be that young and to have the success he's having this early is what makes it even more impressive.
The last Tigers position player to win that Rookie of the Year award, as you just saw on the screen, was Lou Whitaker back in 1978.
Yeah,
you know Lou.
I was going to say, I remember everything that was he was so good in the minor leagues, won the Florida State League MVP, and just carried it right with him all the way up to the major league level. And he had a pretty good long career, and I'm sure Kevin McGonigal would take 19 or 20 years just like Lou Whitaker.
Yeah, for the younger crowd that's watching this game, Dan, Lou Whitaker was blank. Fill in the blank.
Lou Whitaker is a Hall of Famer. How about that?
Yeah.
Not was. Yeah. Lou Whitaker is a Hall of Famer, and he's not there yet, but I just believe that eventually it's going to happen.
He and Alan Trammell, one of the best keystone combinations in history, and you see them up there on the wall next to one another. Now Brant Herter has thrown 5 straight out of the zone after the Josh Smith single, and after the Rogers conversation with Herter, we'll see Nimmo again at the plate, but first this.
There are some people for whom good enough is never good enough. They ruffle feathers, push boundaries. They are high performers, and high performers choose Sage, high performance finance software.
It's a story well told, but Brandon Nimmo, a kid growing up in Wyoming where they didn't have high school baseball, has made a more than decade career out of the major leagues. So chalk one up for American Legion ball in the Northwest. He would drive across state lines to Washington, among other states, just to play baseball as a kid.
Yeah, to seek out the best competition that he could find.
He tried to check his swing, and he did check his swing. Marvin Hudson, the crew chief, waves it off to the dismay of the locals.
Well, I would love to know from Rizzo, as we take a look at the check swing, it's close, but he did hold up, is how much are you looking at Perez in right field and maybe trying to hook a ball down the right field line?
Man, for me, it was always the infielders that I was looking at until they banned the shift. It's so hard to.
But you got to take the pitcher into account too, evidently. Brant Herter flags it down. The inning's over. We're still scoreless. Hudson's batter up odds for plate appearance number 2. He could be the first Tiger to reach base in this game as Riley Green takes a ball outside. It's 12 up, 12 down for Jack Leiter, who's thrown under 50 pitches so far. That was his 49th through 4 clean innings.
Well, this was needed from the Rangers bullpen perspective. Now they have an off day before they play the Yankees on Tuesday, but Gore and Rocker short appearances in this series.
Kumar Rocker just a couple of innings yesterday, forcing Skip Schumacher into the bullpen. Now 3-0 on Riley Green. That's the first 3-ball count of the night for Jack Leiter. It's ball 4. First base runner for the Tigers tonight is a leadoff 4-pitch walk in the 5th.
You know, I just wonder, Mike, now that he's just the first base runner, now he's in the stretch. Yeah. You know, let's see if, you know, it's been 5 innings now. When you're out in the bullpen, you're practicing throwing out of your stretch, but he hasn't been out of the stretch for an hour now. Let's see if he keeps that same command.
The other thing, too, pressure, because 0-0 game, we're getting later. Big runner at first.
First one, well, he figured it out. 98, zipping in, 0-1.
You saying he should have started in the stretch this inning?
I mean, I'm not a pitching coach, but it looks like it worked. 0-1 for Torkelson. Green at first. Oh, 2. Dan, you've seen these two guys grow as not only first-round picks, but also very good friends in that Tigers clubhouse.
Yeah, and I think Riley Green is maybe being a little bit successful because of Kevin McGonigal. Maybe a little bit, everybody's focusing the attention on him, and Riley can just relax and go out and play. And then Spencer Torkelson got off to that rough start, hadn't hit a home run in a while, and everybody was asking, where's the power, when are you going to hit that home run? And he had somebody to really get close with in Riley Green and just remind him, hey, they're going to come. Just make sure you trust your approach. Stay with that approach. Don't keep searching.
Torkelson drills it. Deep left field, it is gone. 2-0 Detroit. Stay with it, you say.
Stay with that approach, and how about a couple of four-seamers at 98, and then all of a sudden that's not good enough, and you go to that slider right in the middle of the plate, and Spencer Torkelson put a good swing on it, give the Tigers that 2-0 lead.
Hangers or bangers.
Yeah.
Kerry Carpenter takes a strike. Spencer Torkelson last week tied a franchise record with a homer in 5 straight, and this was a no-doubter.
Those are ones you can't miss when you get them, especially with 2 strikes.
Now, how does Jack Leiter recalibrate is the question.
That's always the tough part, but when I talk to kids about pitching, this is the tough part about pitching is you're going to have adversity. You're going to give up a run or 2, a home run, and now you have to let that go. You have to make good pitches. You have to keep this at a 2-run deficit for you and get your team back in the dugout.
He uses the changeup for his 7th strikeout, his 2nd of Carpenter.
And I'd like to know too is it just seems to me, and I've asked a lot of the guys in the Tiger clubhouse about the 0-2 count. Like we used to kind of waste one or try to get them to chase a little bit. Not anymore. It gets to 0-2 and they're going right after him. And Anthony Rizzo, I don't know, when somebody got to 0-2, did you find that they nibble a little bit, or did they come right after you like Leiter did right there to Torkelson?
Yeah, it really just depends on who the pitcher is, his makeup, what he's trying to do, what he's trying to establish in that game. So it really goes case by case. But for me as a hitter right there, I'm just coming back to the dugout telling the boys, why would he throw that pitch to me? He had me set up on the fastball or different pitches. So there's a lot of times as hitters you go back to the dugout saying, thank you that he threw that pitch. And I think that's one of them for Torque right there.
Yeah, that's the thing about, you just threw 2 really good fastballs, and then it's like, well, I'm gonna trick them now instead of just staying with what works.
Wencel Perez hits a dart to right and a dive by McCutchen. What an effort! And those 39-year-old legs are still cooking.
Well, that man worked very hard, and he wanted one more chance in the big leagues. He found it with the Texas Rangers. And in right field tonight, a late change from left field to right field, a diving play for Andrew McCutchen. Take that, Age.
Gosh, that gives me some PTSD. Back to my Cubs days.
You have that happen once or twice?
Oh, man, when he was playing center field, he chased down everything. Especially at PNC Park.
How about this read, Riz?
I mean, he's been doing it for years. It's what he does out there. It's just, I don't miss that.
The despair in your voice is really impressive.
Because it hurts. Because you do everything right there as a hitter. You put a good swing on the ball, and then you have McCutchen come out of nowhere and make the diving play.
Now, when you go back to the dugout on that one, what do you say to the guys?
Don't touch me. Don't tell me good swing.
That's a check swing and strike 3 for Hao Yu Lee, but Spencer Torkelson flips this game. They call them torque bombs in Detroit. This one was detonated for the first runs tonight. 2-0 after 5.
Lee getting the start at second base tonight, made his MLB debut last month, grew up in Taiwan. His parents, guys, had never been to the U.S., had never seen him play baseball in person, at least in the last 5 years. For the Tigers, when a player gets called up, they fly the family out. So how you knew this, it was a possibility. His agent had a breakfast arranged. They didn't tell him they were out here yet, though. When Hao Yu showed up, it was just his agent. He was bummed, not because he doesn't like his agent. He thought mom and dad was going to be there. But eventually they showed up. It was emotional, as you can imagine, as Andrew McCutchen rips one. How often do you see that? A diving catch and then a base hit up the middle. And so I asked Hao Yu what he had for breakfast. He said he doesn't remember. He was just so caught up in the moment, seeing mom and dad, his fiance there as well. So they were here for his RBI single, guys, on Friday. They're going to be here through the game tomorrow. Really cool that they get to be here and spend this much time together this weekend.
And Ahmed, it's a great story, and it was a very long trip. That's a full day trip to get here from Taiwan. And Hao Yu Lee and the Tigers leading 2-0, but McCutchen a leadoff single, and Seager takes a strike. It's good to see a veteran get an opportunity at age 39 in a league that's getting younger and younger, and there were a couple of off seasons where it was very difficult for somebody with experience to find a job in Major League Baseball. Andrew McCutchen just beating back age, third active in hits as it stands right now.
Yeah, and he came into spring training a little bit late signee, did not get a guaranteed big league contract. He had to earn his way on this team.
You think about, as there's a ground ball to first, it's Torkelson to second. The return pass is there. It's a double play.
Spencer Torkelson is really good at finding this lane. You can see that McCutchen runs way up onto the grass, but Torkelson could still find that lane over his left shoulder. McGonigal with that right over the top flip to first base to just get Corey Seager.
It's a beautiful look from our crew and exactly what you're talking about. Brant Herter is done. The Tigers still have a 0 on the board for Texas. Here at MLBShop.com, from official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered, including that. You might be able to buy that there. Scan the QR code or visit MLBShop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. It's Paw's birthday, and evidently people are dressing up like the Tigers mascot here today. Ricky Vanasco just called up from AAA, throws ball 1 to Josh Young. There's chaos, and then there's chaos involving the minors, Dan.
Yeah, they just brought him up, and he was lighting it up in AAA through 15 innings and struck out 28. And that was a main reason why, that curveball. He got off to a slow start in spring training, but he really finished strong, and I think he opened a lot of eyes. Got sent down and said, well, I'm going to come right back up.
It's a ground ball to McGonigal at shortstop, and he pulled Torkelson off the bag. Young is safe. A little wobble from a Tigers defense that has struggled this year, and the Rangers will have the tying run at the plate.
I think Kevin's going to be upset with himself. You can see he just takes his time. He's able to plant, and he knew he had time to get it over there and just threw it wild.
Yeah, this Tigers defense is 29th in outs above average at -15 for the year coming into the day, so tied for last in all of Major League Baseball as Vanasco lands a strike.
One of the reasons I think Vanasco was successful too was he added a split finger, so instead of just four seam and curveball, he now has that good third pitch.
He was originally a Texas Rangers draft pick. The Rangers traded him in June of 23 to the Dodgers. The Tigers picked him up in a deal on July 29th of the next year, and then he just re-signed with the Tigers after being released back on last July 8th. So he's been all over the place.
Tell you what, guys, as a hitter, you see they gave that a hit. The only way they change that to an error is if you score. So you're on first base right now saying, if I score, it's a good thing. If not, it's a hit.
And he's not going to score. So it's a hit, but no runs. 2-0 Tigers. Here at Comerica Park. Swing by Capital One Cafe, part bank, part cafe, all in one. Convenient and welcoming space. Capital One Cafes are open 7 days a week. Visit CapitalOne.com/local to learn more. What's in your wallet? Bottom 6. Tigers 2, Rangers nothing. It's the rubber match of 3 here on Sunday Night Baseball between the Tigers and Rangers. Detroit half game back in the AL Central of first place Cleveland, who lost earlier today at the Athletics. Texas in an American League West that's currently led by the Athletics. The Mariners are a game and a half back, but lost 3 in a row to the Royals, and that division, Mike, is just kind of figuring itself out.
Yeah, somebody will probably break out, but I don't think it'll be till the second half. I think there's going to be teams jumbled up around 500 at the All-Star break there, which I think does make it hard on general managers if you're around 500. Are we good enough to push, or are we a 500 team?
Well, especially with what the National League has done to the American League this year. The AL Central is pretty similar to this that we're seeing in the AL West right now. And so as Rogers slices this ball to center, that's down, and it's past the diving Carter. Catchers running on Sunday Night Baseball. Jake Rogers churns the legs into a triple. That is a daring play in all of this grass, Dan Petrie.
Yep, and it looked like he was going to take a real good shot at it. But again, you just look at that pitch, and it was another curveball, just like Spencer Torkelson, and it stayed up right in the middle of the plate, belt high. And Jake Rogers just hammered it out there.
I don't mind that as a pitcher when my outfielder makes that good of an effort.
No.
Kevin McGonigal, the rookie sensation, takes a called strike. But, okay, situationally, though, at 2-0.
I guess I'm not going to fault my guy for giving that good of an effort, and he didn't miss it by a lot.
Shattered bat down the left field line at foul 0-2.
I'm way more mad at myself for hanging a breaking ball there.
Yeah. It was close.
And he is grading out as the Rangers' best defensive player this year. But he's talking, there's a lot of room in the outfield here, and he might be playing a little bit deeper than normal just because of how far center field is here.
Yeah, I wonder if it can be disorienting for an outfielder with all of that room. Regarding where you play as compared to normal, like you're talking about. 2 strikes on McGonigal. Line drive, base hit. The rookie comes through again, and it's 3-0 Detroit. Rizzo on 2 strikes. Kevin McGonigal makes contact.
I mean, that's a great at bat. He just shortens up there, just tries to put a ball play, doesn't try to do too much. This kid's going to be special. We're seeing it right here.
Dan Petrie, you've seen most of his games, if not all of them, in person. What's most special about him?
I think it's just his understanding of the strike zone, and very rarely does he swing at a pitch that's outside the strike zone. And I think Anthony Rizzo just said it best right there. He just shortened everything up, and that's what he does. That's why he grinds out those at bats. It's 0-2. And then he just knows how to continue to foul off pitches, stay alive until he gets something that he likes. And that, unfortunately for Leiter, was that it was the next pitch, 0-2. Again, a secondary pitch that stayed up. But McGonigal, instead of getting real big, just shortened it up, recognized the changeup, and was able to line it into right.
To your point, Dan, the Tigers have driven in all 3 of their runs on 0-2 tonight.
And Jake Rogers, his was a curveball that stayed up. The curveball was up to Spencer Torkelson. That was a changeup that was up. So that's just one of those ones where, hey, the fastball's still plenty good. He hasn't lost any velocity, just maybe needs to just concentrate a little bit hard on those secondary pitches to get them back downstairs where they belong.
Strike 3 on a fastball. Vierling takes a look back but doesn't challenge.
The fastball keeps playing, guys.
Isn't that frustrating right now? Is that Leiter is having a really good game. He's down 3-0, which feels like a very big lead right now, the way the Tigers are pitching. And that a couple of secondary pitches has cost him. But besides that, he has been, you know, I'd say at his best so far this year, but all it takes is one swing of the bat to not make it your night.
Well, and you guys both know this as pitchers. 0-0 games, you both said it, the pressure can mount on you. You have to be so perfect.
And so far, Jack was not on the 23 World Championship team, which was one of the best offensive teams. 24 through 26, the Rangers have not been an above-average offensive team.
Big chopper forcing Leiter off the mound, and a bare-hand peg is nasty. What a play. Exceptional effort from Leiter.
He was a second baseman in high school and a pitcher, and right there he shows off middle infield skills. Bare hands, falling away from first base. A lot of pitchers throw this one into right field, and he throws Berger a nice strike.
I was thinking just the fact that he barehanded it. If I were going over there, there's no way. I would have fielded it in my glove, and Koke probably would have been safe just because I wouldn't have been able to transfer it quick enough.
The other thing, too, is sometimes you get change-up grips throwing it over to first base.
Yeah.
You're stuck with basically whatever grip you get, right, when you field the ball?
Yep, and obviously infielders are really good at quickly getting, you know, a fastball grip to throw it over. Pitchers, not so much, and using bigger gloves now in the game.
Here's another look for you.
Yeah. Leiter saying, no, I got a 13-inch mitt over there on the left hand. Let me just use the bare hand.
I think he did he did change the grip a little bit on the fly.
He had
like
the
you're talking about, yeah.
And then was able to get the two-seam grip.
Well, you know, pitchers, athletes.
Watch this again, exactly what you're talking about. I think he rolled it in his hand here a little bit.
Yeah, so he has a palm ball. Gets the thumb underneath it and gets a good grip on it and throws a fastball.
That looked like he even was able to get a four-seam grip on it, not even a sinker. But he's falling off to the first base side of the mound too and able to reverse course.
Smith at second handles the final out of the 6th inning. The Tigers add on a run going to the 7th. For baseball and softball players ages 7 to 14 host a local competition in 2026 and give the kids a chance to make it to the national finals of the 2026 World Series. Visit pitchhitrun.com or scan the QR code that was on the screen. Just have to roll it back a little bit, then scan the QR code or visit pitchhitrun.com. You saw all the mascots here for, there's your QR code. See, all I have to say is QR code. It shows up on the screen. Well-oiled machine here on Peacock Sunday Night Baseball. Carter hits it in the air to left. That is Riley Green. And there's one away. More after this.
Let's take a look at Capital One checking accounts. We're talking no fees, no minimums, just one question. What's in your wallet?
So it's Paw's birthday, the Tigers mascot today. Yesterday was Sarah Lang's birthday, the great Major League Baseball statistician, the most curious person in America, Sarah Lang's. So happy birthday to Sarah. And Sarah has texted in during the game watching the telecast because she's always curious about something, and says that the most outs created by a fielder against Anthony Rizzo was Billy Hamilton for any outfielder, but second in all of baseball is Andrew McCutchen, as this is lined down the left field side, and Duran will have extra bases for Texas. It's a one-out double here in the 7th. But to finish the story real quick, Rizzo, you were on it. Andrew McCutchen did take a lot of your hits. In fact, the second most of any outfielder ever.
That hurts. It really does. The feeling came back right away, seeing him make that diving play, and now to reiterate that he's the second one in the league, second most outs he's taken away from me, just leaves me thinking what could have been, right?
Oh yeah, that so many gaps in your career resume.
I won't let you answer who did you hope you hit it to in the outfield in the major leagues.
The Kyle Schwarber. Yep.
1-0 on Smith from Ricky Vanasco. The Rangers have yet to score, but this is a threat certainly, as it's 1-1 on the 8-hitter Smith, who's 1 for 2 in the game with a single in the 5th. There's Hooper, the Pistons mascot, roaming the stands as a 1-1 to Smith misses. 2-1 from Vanasco as the Tigers try to piecemeal 27 outs.
When the Rangers have had a lot of issues in 26 with runners in scoring position.
Part of it is that they're second worst in baseball in swing and miss. Makes it difficult to string hits together.
Tough to get on first if you're not making contact.
It's true.
Put the ball in play, things can happen.
3-1, Vanasco to Smith, and it's up high, ball 4. So Higashioka, the catcher spot coming up. 2 on, 1 out for Texas.
It's a great sign if you're a Rangers fan or you're in the Rangers clubhouse right now, seeing Josh Smith. 2 hits yesterday, hit today, a walk today, after having a few days off for a little mental reset. So the broken bat hit yesterday, I was saying it could do wonders, and he's on base again twice today, helping start a rally.
And now Rogers goes out to talk to Vanasco. Let's go inside the pitch here, Anthony, with Kyle Finnegan warming up. But you played with Kyle Higashioka. You know his tendencies. 2 on, 1 out. Where's his mind here?
Well, after a mound visit like this, you know he's going to try to pound the zone here. So he's sitting fastball. If he hangs that slider, I could see him ambushing both. So he's an aggressive hitter. I could see him going after the first pitch, but it has to be right in his zone.
Which would be where, Anthony?
I mean, I think for every hitter, it's middle, right? So when someone's in trouble like this, I think you need to shrink your zone a little bit and not expand and help them out.
2 on, 1 out. Higashioka takes a strike. Now that was inner third.
Yeah, he's probably looking for something up there, or he was just seeing a pitch to see if he can settle in. It's a young pitcher on the mound.
0-1. Twisted foul, 0-2.
Nothing worse as a hitter than seeing 2 fastballs on a guy you've never seen before, knowing that he has a few other pitches that he can throw at any time now.
As Finnegan gets loose, Vanasco's 0-2 is just touched foul. He went with the change. That's that splitter that Vanasco has worked with down in AAA, it looked like.
That's that pitch that's really made a big difference for him. He can set it, he sets it in his glove before he goes into the stretch.
He pulled that one, and it kicks off of Rogers. The double play is out of order, and that's big news for Texas. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
Well, this changes the game quite a bit here, as you can just see. Vanasco, his head pulls off really hard there, trying to overthrow a fastball. Infield's going to play back, but this gives now, if you can get a ball up the middle, you get a run on the board.
Against a Tigers bullpen that may or may not have Kenley Jansen available to close the game tonight. 1-2 is outside. He pulled that one as well.
Dan, do you think he's overthrowing these last two?
Absolutely. You know, especially the previous pitch that was down and away in the dirt, just trying to get a little bit extra, trying to put him away.
Little piece of it, ground ball first base, and that's picked up fair. It's out number 2. It's run number 1 for Texas. Duran pays off the 1-out double, and it's 3-1 in the 7th.
Is able to come back and get that big out, and Spencer Torkelson makes sure that at this point of the game he wants outs. He's not going to let that ball just trickle foul to save that run. He's going to make sure he goes over there and makes that play and step on the bag.
So now Brandon Nimmo, who's 1 for 3, he takes a ball 1-0. That might have been challengeable. It was close.
That looked like it was a good first pitch. Like it might have caught that outside corner.
We were talking to Skip Schumacher about that very type of thing. Look, we talked about it. 0-0 pitches for the Rangers. That can flip a count. You go 0-1 instead of 1-0, the numbers change in this league.
A whole bunch, and Nimmo's not going to chase. He's really good at controlling the strike zone.
He flips that foul, 2-1.
And the other thing, too, is with Nimmo up, there's 2 outs, but the Rangers have their lefty power hitter on deck for McCutchen and Jock Peterson if this inning continues.
The patience of Skip Schumacher leaves him with a lefty, with the Tigers only having 1 lefty remaining in the bullpen.
And Finnegan is up because the top of the order is coming up, and even though you don't know if Kenley Jansen's going to be able to close the game out, A.J. Hinch wants him to face the top of the order.
Vanasco gets out of the 7th. He strikes Nimmo out to retire the side and hang on to a 2-run Tigers lead at the stretch. By Bosch Power Tools, Jack Leiter came out of the chute crackling tonight. 5 of the first 6 batters struck out. He retired 12 straight until a walk, and then this 2-run homer on 2 strikes for Spencer Torkelson, the former #1 overall pick by the Tigers. Then Kevin McGonigal, rookie sensation, the 21-year-old, drives in run number 3. The Rangers just got on the board on a Kyle Higashioka RBI ground out to first right there. And our Bosch Power Tools game summary ends at 3-1 as we go into the bottom of the 7th inning with Spencer Torkelson leading off for the Tigers. Closely played, low-scoring games so far between the Rangers and Tigers. 2 teams hovering around 500 to start the day. Tigers are at 500. The Rangers 1 below, but both very definitively in their divisional races. And Leiter, guys, is still out there at only 80 pitches, Mike.
Well, this is great to see from a Rangers perspective, as they've been getting a few shorter appearances, especially so far on this road trip. And the efficiency has been a little bit tough for the Rangers starting pitchers this year. So it's great to see from Leiter the efficiency to work into the 7th inning.
Is 1-1. Is cued down the first base side and foul, 1-2. It is a little surprising that Anthony Rizzo hasn't tried to jump the railing and field one of those slow rollers. You have a line at it.
Look, I am going to try to come up with a stat to give the first baseman some love, because Torkelson earlier in the game made a really nice play. He doesn't get nearly the amount of love over there at first base that we deserve.
So you and A.J. Hinch agree on first base metrics.
Oh, let me tell you something. Those 3 other infielders are nothing without the first baseman. Okay, maybe slightly biased, but all those wide throws that we pick them up on, those are errors if we don't make those plays.
But you think Torkelson's a better first baseman than he gets credit for?
I think every first baseman is. I need us first basemen getting all the love we can get. We run out there, I think, with negative WAR to start the season.
But he's only a little biased, everybody. 3-2. Seriously, though, that position, Anthony, it's a lot of running that kind of gets lost.
It does. You're in every play, bouncing off the bag. It's really underrated and taken for granted how many times we pick up our infielders. Any ball in the dirt that we don't catch is an error on the infielder. So you take it for granted how many balls we pick out of the dirt over there, and the infielders we're saving each infielder at least on minimum 5 to 10 errors a season.
3-2 to the Tigers first baseman, and he swings through a changeup to tie a career-high 10 strikeouts for Jack Leiter.
Well, it was the heater early and often to get quite a few of the strikeouts. As this game has progressed, the last few have come on the changeup. But as we've pointed out, the fastball is playing so well tonight and setting up some of the off-speed. But stick with that fastball.
This to Kerry Carpenter, ends up in right field. It's a base hit for Carpenter, who was 2 of those 10 strikeouts so far tonight. Kerry Carpenter, who lost his dad in 2020 after a battle with cancer, and Kerry has talked about, he's a big power hitter. He's talked about coming around third base on home runs he hits. And that's kind of when it registers, when he thinks of dad, who never got to see him play in Major League Baseball. But Dan, you've been around for his entire career. There's a guy that never stops smiling.
No, and he's a very dangerous at-bat for a right-handed pitcher. Every time he stands in the box, it's just like there's damage just waiting to happen. And so many times you just see how carefully right-handed pitchers pitch to him, because they just know with one swing of the bat he can change that scoreboard.
2-0 is in. It's 3 balls, no strikes on Wencel Perez.
We were here a few years ago when I was with the Yankees, and Kerry and Aaron Judge used the same hitting coach, Rich, teacher man, and we were at a local cage here hitting, and I was so impressed watching Kerry hit and take his batting practice work. He got so into his legs. Watching him hit, how he drove his back knee down was giving me back pain. So it's just impressive, and I love to see the success he's had.
He's hit 3 home runs this year on like half swings, just to tell you how strong he is.
Ground ball to first. Berger knocks it down, recovers, feeds, and got him. Anthony, that could be full panic over there. What'd you see?
Full panic. Never a doubt. I always tell this to first basemen, you have so much time. So when a ball's hit that hard, don't panic. Just recover. You have more time than you think all the time. So it's a great recovery by Berger over there, and Jack getting over and covering.
That's Evaldi. He demands that his guys get over there and cover first base for his first baseman.
Yeah, Eric Hinsky told me that Carlos Delgado used to never, ever take the ball over to first base, because he said, as soon as I take it over, the one time I don't need them, they're not going to, or the one time I need them, they're going to cover. So he's like, I always flip the ball to first base.
You know, when you were talking about Spencer Torkelson and just first baseman in general, I don't know how hard you worked on this, but Spencer Torkelson is great at giving the ball to the pitchers when they're covering first base. I mean, I don't think that's an easy thing. I mean, you have to kind of lead them. You have to hit them in the chest. It's a moving target. How tough is that, and how much practice did you do at making sure you got that pitcher a good throw as they're covering first?
Yeah, you have to make it a point during spring training and even sometimes during PFPs during the year to get out there with your pitchers so they know your arm slot, because they're on the run and they need to make sure if you're throwing it hard, overhand, or how soft you toss it. So, and another big thing too at first base is those throws to second base. I would always practice different arm angles, because you know those base runners are trying to get in your way and block you and get you to hit them.
Berger rescues an out here. Hao-Yu Lee is the batter. 2 out, 1 on, and he is down a pair of strikes. Now the Tigers have driven in all 3 of their runs tonight on 0-2 pitches from Jack Leiter.
No hanging breaking balls here. Either attack with that heater above the zone, or if you're going to throw off speed, even try to bounce it right now.
That's a high fastball.
And that's been his best pitch all day, Dan. But right here, would you think, if I've hung some in these situations, to think I'm going to change my target to lower, what would you do to throw a breaking ball better?
But the pitch that he started to use a little bit more is that cutter, as long as he can get it outside. But that's the thing. Hao-Yu Lee, as you see, he steps a little bit towards third base, like stepping in the bucket just a little bit. And that pitch on the outside part of the plate could give him some difficulty. But that cutter might be just enough that it moves just off the plate. Looks like a fastball, but just a little bit of a wrinkle.
On a sinker, it's a ground ball into right field past Smith. A bounder scores run number 4 for the Tigers. His family in attendance watching him in the majors. Hao-Yu Lee drives in a run.
Yeah, not a bad inside-out swing with that sinker coming down and into Hao-Yu Lee, and he just kept that barrel, that bat back, and just kept it in the strike zone a long time and pushed it right over to right field where there wasn't, or second base, where nobody was there because of the shift. But a nice game for Leiter. He's got to be happy with the way he threw the ball.
He struck out 10 in the game and goes 6 2/3. The Rangers go to the bullpen. And let's all play ball. Don't miss Play Ball Weekend coming up June 5th through the 7th, encouraging youth everywhere to get out and play. You can visit playball.org to register for a free event near you today. 4-1 your score. The Tigers with the lead. The hitter will be Jake Rogers, who tripled and scored in the 6th. And Texas has that battery of left-handers, including Tyler Alexander, who will get the ball here. So Alexander, the former Tiger, as this is our final game, as it always is on Sunday Night Baseball, final game of the week. Here's what's going on this week in baseball. Mike, the Yanks and Rays in quite a battle in the East.
Man, both teams go 5-1 on the week, and they have really separated themselves as the 2 best teams in the American League so far.
It was a walk-off today for Tampa Bay. For me, the White Sox are 5-1 in their last 6. The Padres beat them today, but Murakami and his power, the starters have been great. Noah Schultz has come up as a rookie for the White Sox, and they're hanging around in the American League Central. But Dan Petrie, I know what grabbed your attention from yesterday.
Well, I had to do a double take. I went, oh, they walked 7 in 1 inning. No, it was 7 straight. I can't imagine. I mean, I walked a lot of guys, but I don't know how you walk 7 straight.
I can imagine. My kids just got to varsity baseball, and if you watch 12 to 15-year-old baseball, you can watch 7 walks in a row.
You see, that's where if you're an umpire, though, come on. Not in Major League Baseball, but at age 12,
yeah,
it's a strike.
Close enough.
Yeah, it's a strike. There's no ABS challenge system in Pony League. First one to Jake Rogers from Tyler Alexander, ball 1. So the Tigers knock Leiter out of the game. Alexander has been outstanding.
He really has. The Rangers have put together 8 guys that have different arm angles, different ways of getting guys out.
Rogers plops this into right field, and McCutchen has to approach a dying quail out there in right against a Rangers bullpen that has the best relief corps ERA by about half a point in all of baseball.
It is the total opposite of how you put together bullpen in 2026 or a few years before. There's only one guy that throws the ball 97 miles an hour harder, and that was Collier, who was used last night. It's a bunch of guys that throw in the low to mid 90s and just use different arm angles and different ways to try to create soft contact. You get soft contact there, you just don't get the out.
Well, you see Jake Rogers making that funny face over there because he and Tyler Alexander are about as close as 2 guys can get, the pitcher and the catcher, and he just was kind of giving him that look like, ooh, man, sorry about that.
Didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Here's Kevin McGonigal, who takes a strike. The rookie has driven in a run with an RBI single in the 6th. McGonigal, whose father, Kevin, was a major influence in his baseball development growing up. Hits this one over first base. A super ball into right field is an RBI for McGonigal again, and a long turnaround third for Rogers, and he will try to scramble back. He is. McGonigal takes second in full emergency mode. Felonious base running for Detroit here in the 7th.
Well, you know that they're an aggressive. They love to go first to third. First of all, McGonigal gets that base hit, knocks in a run. And he was thinking about going to second out of the box. He's saying, you know what? I should take off and give it a chance. And he threw on the brakes. And Jake Rogers took the big, big wide turn. And as soon as Berger started running at him, McGonigal took off. As soon as he started running at him, McGonigal took off and said, I'm going to make it into second. 2 more runners in scoring position.
First pitch swing, Vierling trying to plunk it down. He does! My, oh my. The Tigers add on again. Matt Vierling just hits a rainbow to center field. And this is the danger of the BABIP gods, the batting average on balls in play gods for the Rangers bullpen.
Yeah, when you don't really have guys that have swing and miss, you're hoping the soft contact finds your defense. Evan Carter with an outstanding effort. He's just barely missed 2 balls today in the outfield, but the floodgates are open for the Tigers.
It was a tapper back to the hill off that sinker against Alexander, and that will do it. But the Tigers piece together 5 hits in the inning. Going to NBCSN next week. The Washington Nationals take on the Miami Marlins at noon Eastern, and then Sunday Night Baseball as the Tigers heading to Kansas City to take on the Royals. Live on Peacock and NBCSN. Kansas City has dragged itself back into the AL Central race with a sweep of the Mariners over this weekend as Kyle Finnegan is on for the Tigers, and Alejandro Osuna pinch hitting for Andrew McCutchen, fouls the ball away. We do know that Dan Petrie will be watching Sunday because the Minnesota Wild will be off for the day. Dan's son plays for the Wild. They'll be playing game number 3 on Saturday. So Dan will pry himself away from the hockey playoffs to watch the Tigers and Royals.
Actually, they're playing right now in game number 1, and I just was reminded that I haven't even checked the score.
Wow, you're having so much fun with us.
Yes, yes, full concentration.
0-2 from Finnegan to Osuna. It's been one of those days here in Detroit, though. We saw all those Pistons jerseys. That game was at 3:30 just down the road at Little Caesars Arena. Pistons came back from 3-1 down against the Magic and won that series. And Jeff Petrie, who played for the Red Wings for a number of years, now with the Minnesota Wild. There you see the score of Game 7 between Cleveland and Toronto, and Finnegan wipes away Osuna. 1 down. So here's what's coming up in the NBA playoffs. Monday, Game 1, NBC and Peacock. The 76ers, VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid is back. Timberwolves Spurs. That'll be an entertaining series after Minnesota cast off Jokic and the Nuggets. And then the winner of that Game 7 tonight takes on the Pistons. Lakers Thunder on Tuesday. Here's a ground ball, second base and through. It's a base knock for Seager, who has his first hit of the ball game.
The Rangers really need Seager to get hot and have a nice May.
The back of the baseball card will never lie for Corey Seager.
I was thinking the same thing.
Always gets off to a slow start, but you look up by Memorial Day and he's usually where he needs to be, or he's on his way.
He's at first, Young the batter. So there's a stat called OPS plus, which they take and they use park factors and generational factors, and they try to make it so you can compare guys from different generations. Corey Seager has never had an OPS plus that's below average. League average 100. Every single season he's been in Major League Baseball, his OPS plus 103 or better, and only one time has he been below 110. Those are massive numbers.
He is so fun to watch. Griffey Jr. always have the prettiest swing I've ever seen, but Corey Seager in today's game has one of the prettiest swings.
Ground ball up the middle to second base. Lee juggles, tips it to himself, throws to first, and creates a double play. He does birthday parties as well. My goodness. Sleight of hand from Hao-Yu Lee.
Yeah, the Rangers are going to challenge this play over at first, but Hao-Yu Lee does everything he can.
I think that's a good challenge, Dan.
Yeah. Looked like Hao-Yu Lee was just maybe trying to hurry up and get to that bag. But Spencer Torkelson, another thing
Texas is challenging
about
the whole
those
play, out at second base and out at first base.
But another thing about those first basemen that's underrated, I think, is the way they stretch. You know, they stretch at the ball. If you stretch too early, you get out of position and the ball clanks off your glove. But that's another thing that Spencer Torkelson does well, goes out and stretches right over to that baseball and makes that play as close as he can.
I say that to every young first baseman out there. Do not stretch unless you have to.
Don't stretch too early, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Unless you have to. I try to never stretch. I always try to let the infielder, if they could hit me in the chest, just let it hit me right there. I could always tell if the runner was fast or not and see it in the corner of my eye. But it just does a number of things. It gives your infielder the confidence when he hits you in the chest, and then when you do have to stretch, you're not stretching too early, and if a ball's high or wide, it's too hard to make an adjustment.
Follow up on that in 1 second, but to be clear, the Rangers are challenging both outs here, and in order to get a ruling, you have to challenge both.
After review, the call at second base is confirmed. The runner is out. At first base, the runner is overturned as safe. Texas will retain the challenge.
There's no harm in kind of spraying the zone, so you challenge both. One of them gets overturned, one does not. MLB Plus is new for 2026. Stream MLB Network 24/7 and select out-of-market games every week. Plus, live radio broadcasts of every game, Game Day 3D, Big Inning, and minor league action. Visit MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today. Anthony, we've seen Matt Olson a couple times on Sunday Night Baseball this year. He is so good at meeting the baseball and creating a little bit less time for the runner to get down to first base. What's the best attitude about that?
You got to know your infielder's arms. You take so many throws from these guys, you know what they do, what their tendencies are, and then you can really go and get it. So it's the perfect timing.
Fly ball center field from Berger, and that does retire the side. We'll go bottom 8 with the Tigers leading the Rangers 7-1. League morning on Peacock and NBCSN as Liverpool hosts Chelsea at 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Then on NBC and Peacock, Man City takes on Brentford at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, live Saturday on NBC, Peacock, and NBCSN. Gavin Collier is the new pitcher for the Texas Rangers, a 12th round pick back in 2019 out of lovely Lawrenceville, Georgia.
He's the hardest thrower for the Rangers, really has that sling motion. The Rangers are hoping that he can be a future closer later in his career.
That is a lively fastball out of his hand. We're talking about slinging it.
Yeah, he throws that. That one didn't sweep that much. He does have one that can sweep from way outside of the zone to the inside part to a lefty.
In the air for left field. This is down the line and twisting foul.
Dan, when it comes to the Tigers and Riley Green, you know, he's been in the big leagues now 3-4 years. Who's the leader of this team?
Boy, that's I'm not sure there's one distinct person that you can go to.
You think that over. Okay, we're going to give you 20 seconds. Here's a word from one of our lovely sponsors.
Ace has all the power you need to get the job done right, with the best power brands all under one roof, like Steel, Eagle, Milwaukee, Craftsman, and Toro, with free assembly and delivery or ready for pickup in just 15 minutes.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Dan Petrie, if you don't have an answer, you do still win Sunday Night Baseball, the home game.
I do. I had to think long and hard about it, 20 seconds. But I think you have to go to the catchers. And, you know, Jake Rogers is one of those guys that has been around a long time on this ball club. Well respected, a funny guy.
But look, even if you're not the leader, a 2-run homer in the 5th inning can make you a leader type of guy. Sometimes you do it with your baseball bat.
But I will say those guys, those two right there, Spencer Torkelson and Riley Green, every day they're at their lockers. And we come in as media members, and they are there every day to answer the questions, whether they're going good or they're going bad. It doesn't matter. They're there, and they don't hide from anything.
Even last September, this has been a wild 2 years, Dan, for the Tigers. They come storming back in 24 to win a playoff spot. Last year, they see a double-digit lead go away in the American League Central, and now playing pretty much even money so far in the first month and a week here in 2026.
But I was talking about Jake Rogers. Oh, but Dylan Dingler, I think what he's done coming over and just solidifying that catcher's position, winning the Gold Glove last year, and then what he's done offensively, leads the team in RBIs. So I always think you kind of gravitate to those catchers and what they have to offer.
Favorite catchers, both of you?
Ooh, you know, one of the guys I really liked, obviously I love when Mike Piazza hit for me, but I don't like when Vance Wilson caught for me, who's third base coach for the Royals now.
Yeah. What about Vance? Did you like?
He worked so hard, and he would give me a great game plan. He would stay with me in the dugout and talk me through things. I didn't have much. I mean, I was definitely trying to fool people.
Okay.
And you had to work hard with me to get big league hitters out.
Cutters strike 3, 2 down, and the Tigers 8th. Dan?
That's just an unfair question.
Why is it unfair?
I mean, because they're all brilliant, but since this game, right? I mean, playing the Rangers, Bill Fahey was one that I love to throw to. Pooch, he's probably watching. I don't know if he is. So, hi, Pooch, and got a Pooch shout out. But Lance Parrish, I mean, I threw to him so much, and we shared so many wonderful memories together. So, you know, I'd have to say probably, you know, Lance Parrish, but I love throwing to Pooch because he never got to play unless it was me. They gave Lance a rest and threw Pooch out to catch me all the time.
What a relationship. You needed each other.
How about this?
He loved me.
No clue about that. His son, Scott Fahey, I played with him, and his youngest son, Brandon, played in the big leagues. Pooch, I grew up with his 2 kids. We went to high school together.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, he played with the Orioles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he lives in Duncanville, Texas.
Sure does.
That's who his son coaches high school baseball for.
Wow. To be clear, you guys did not talk about this before the game.
No clue
I
that
didn't
Bill
know.
Fahey Pooch was going to come up on this broadcast.
I didn't either.
Amazing. 1-2 to Carpenter. Spins outside. Anthony, please tell me you know the Fahey family as well.
I don't, guys. You're aging yourself.
Oh, what a miss. 2-2 from Collier to Carpenter.
For these young Tiger hitters, too, it does not hurt to have Justin Verlander and Tarek Skubal on their bench, going to them and talking to them about pitching and why they're throwing certain things or why a pitcher's attacking me a certain way. So they have a nice blend over there.
That's why. Why it's so hard to pick a leader, you know, because I think there's so many of them, and that's a great point about you usually say, pitchers can't be leaders. You know, they only go out there once every 5 days, but they're so well respected in that clubhouse, and I think everybody really looks up to them.
Fly ball left field, and this will get fouled. Mike, when you asked Dan that question, it was like you asked his favorite pet of all time.
Yeah.
Making the man pick a leader.
Man, well, and it's always tough. In today's game, there are multiple leaders on a team. Seager for the Rangers is their leader by example, but he's very quiet, and that's why they needed Nimmo. That's why they needed McCutchen on this team to help out with the leadership.
That was just a cheap way to try to get Dan's dog Petey into the telecast.
I knew
honestly,
that was
it was
coming.
an end around. 3-2 on Carpenter. Tigers 7, Rangers 1. Texas will head off to New York to take on the Yankees. The Tigers will stay home to play the Red Sox under new management. This is popped up right side of the infield, and the second baseman Smith makes the catch to retire the side. Thanks to the Fahey family for joining us. In the series finale between the Rangers and Tigers, everything feels right in the world when Zach Short is playing short, and that's what's happening right now. The Tigers just called him up from AAA, a multi-time Tiger rejoining the club with all the injuries on the infield for Detroit. So Short is at short. McGonigal moves to third. And Birch Smith is the relief pitcher for the Tigers, trying to win the World Tag Team Championship in the bullpen tonight. Holton, Hannafy, Herter, Vanasco, Finnegan, Smith have been the baton passers in a pitching chaos game, as they call it, in Detroit. The Tigers are 7-1 leaders.
And that one thing we were talking about, what affords the Tigers the opportunity to do this, is they have Tarek Skubal on the mound tomorrow, and you don't like to throw all the pressure on him, but if there's a sure thing about a guy going deep into a game, 6 or 7 innings, it's Tarek Skubal.
And you figure Finnegan would be available tomorrow for the Tigers, going only 1 inning today. 1 out in the 9th. More after this. Here in Detroit, all the teams right around one another. Comerica Park in the shadow of Ford Field, Little Caesars Arena down the road. And here is Ezekiel Duran, who, it merits mentioning, his double in the 7th inning. He has been much more selective at the plate this year. His at-bat quality improved, and he doubled to help the Rangers hop back into this 2 innings ago.
Yeah, the coaching staff loves Zeke, is what they call him, because he provides something every day, whether it's a base hit, whether it's a defensive play. He has the best arm on the team defensively. They love him in the lineup somewhere and in the field somewhere, because they just feel like he's a positive contributor every game.
Year number 5 with the Rangers for him. The most games he's played is 122 3 years ago for Texas. Pumps this into right center field. It falls quickly, and it's caught. Matt Vierling into a barrel roll for out number 2. We have seen some top shelf defense tonight.
Boy, he's positioned just perfectly, just shading just slightly over to right center. Looks like he got off on the ball really well. Took a nice route right to the baseball, dives and takes it right off the top of the grass.
What did A.J. Hinch say about this defense?
He said he thought it would get better.
Tonight, huh?
Hoped it would get better. 2 out. Ball 1 from Birch Smith. One and one. Smith to Smith. 2 out in the 9th. And we get a challenge.
Batter's challenging.
Can't take him with you. ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. You might as well. It is a strike.
That call is confirmed. Texas has 1 challenge remaining.
I mean, Anthony, I know batters are worried about getting it right and all that, but like, you can't take them with you. You might as well.
No, yeah, and that's close enough too to challenge. It's the 9th inning. Might as well take your shot.
You're not going to hear from any teammates on that one.
Absolutely not. I don't think you can in the 9th inning. Honestly, to have some fun with it in the 9th inning, I may have challenged a ball down the middle just to get a rise out of the guys in the dugout.
That feels like a you thing.
Yeah.
1-2 in the air, left field, and another timing effort. This one goes off the glove of Riley Green. That would have been a fitting way, with all the outfield stealing of outs from both sides tonight, to end the game, but it did not.
Oh, and he had it in his glove, and it just trickled out.
For the Rangers, seeing Smith now get 2 hits, Seager with another hit, he's starting to heat up. Leiter going deep into the game, throwing well. I think there are positives to take away from a loss here. They don't come back.
Don't you feel like there should be more power in this lineup?
Yeah, they were really hoping a year ago when they got Berger and Peterson that would provide the pop that they were lacking in 24.
And what happens when Wyatt Langford comes back? You know,
yeah,
it's going to certainly energize the lineup.
He has so much talent. He's a 5-tool player, but they have to be careful. He has a forearm injury, and he went to Arizona and took one swing, and they're like, we got to be really careful here.
So second base for Smith here. So he's basically shut down for now, and then they'll reevaluate.
Yeah, I think that they're going to give him a week off. So probably Thursday reevaluate and see where they're at.
2-1 from Birch Smith. Tigers bullpen looking for that 27th out. The Tigers have used 6 pitchers tonight. This is the spot that previously was occupied by Casey Mize, who was injured trying to field a ball in his last start in Atlanta. 3-2 for Higashioka. Tigers are the best home team in Major League Baseball at 11-3 in this ballpark. Chopper to second. Tigers are now 12-3 at home. They win the series over Texas. Final score in game 3, 7-1. And Dan Petrie, the pitching chaos, comes up roses again for the Tigers.
Yeah, and it's just so good to see everybody that participated in that game throw and do exactly what A.J. Hinch had in mind for him. And then, but on the other side, Leiter threw a heck of a game too. Just a couple mistakes early in the game that led to the Tigers' big inning.
We'll step aside. We'll wrap it up. Get final thoughts from both Dan and Mike, and an interview from down on the field with Ahmed. 7-1, your final for the Tigers. Out your Peacock picks of the week. First, it's a love story with one little problem. Stream The Miniature Wife now on Peacock. Then catch up with the Duttons with every episode of Yellowstone. And the NBA playoffs are underway. Catch the conference semifinals live this week on Peacock. Moments ago, Ahmed Fareed caught up with rookie Kevin McGonigal, who drove in 2 runs tonight. Ahmed?
Thank you, Jason. So, Kevin, 2 for 4, a run, a couple of RBIs for you. First question, why is this Major League Baseball thing so easy for you?
You know, this game's nowhere close to being easy, but I think the biggest thing that really helped me coming into, my first year in the show was just keeping the same mindset as I always have throughout my whole career playing baseball, and that's just knowing it's the same game. You're playing in front of 40,000 fans, but can't let that change the way you go out and play. So that was my biggest thing that helped me.
You do so many things so well. It seems like nothing is surprising you. Maybe some of these seeds being thrown your way. But if you had to pick one thing that surprised you about Major League Baseball, what is it?
Yeah, just the grind. It's a grind, yeah. Last year, I didn't play as much as I am right now, so just finding little things I have to do to maintain my, feeling healthy, going out there every day, putting all the effort and, going out and hoping the team win as much as I can every single day, and staying in that training room, making sure I'm feeling 100%.
Before I let you go, I know you promised to take the team out for dinner. Have you been able to do that yet?
Not yet. So
okay.
the game got I forgot what day it was, but we were on the road and rain delay pushed it back, so we weren't able to go that night. But it's coming up soon.
How much have you budgeted for that?
We haven't really talked about it too much yet, but yeah, it's gonna be. I'm gonna take the guys out. They already took me out a few times, so it's only right if I go and do that as well.
Congratulations on the great start, Kevin.
Thank you.
Jason.
Kevin McGonigal, 2 hits for the Tigers, 7-1 Detroit. He can afford it. 8 years, $150 million kicks in. That's why he's doing that. Jason Benetti, Dan Petrie, Mike Bassick. Pleasure sharing baseball with you two gentlemen here tonight. And Dan, we'll start with you on your final thoughts. 7-1, the Tigers get the victory. What's your takeaway tonight?
Well, it's just that pitching chaos or the bullpen game. I know when they first started those, I couldn't stand it. I just wanted to see a starter go, and then how long, is the starter going to get deep into the game, and then how you manipulate the bullpen. But now, seeing all the strategy that's involved on both sides with a bullpen game, I really enjoy them. I know the Tigers don't want to do it a whole lot, but they're a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, the Tigers did it to great success 2 years ago, so they win here. They're tied for first with Cleveland. For Texas, this is a team that's kind of played right around the middle all year long. As they go to New York, Mike, what do you see?
Well, they want to be better than this, but they want to be 20-20 in their first 40 games. The schedule in their first 40 games, they've already played the Dodgers. Now here in Detroit, they're about to play the Yankees for a second time. They've played Seattle 6 times. They're playing a lot of teams that made the playoffs last year, or they're off to really good starts like the Pirates. So if you can get just a few more games down the road and get to 20-20, that would feel pretty successful after these 40-game stretch where maybe the schedule gets a little bit easier for you.
Especially in a division that nobody's running away with right now in the American League West. So we're going to say farewell from here in Detroit. 7-1 your final score. Next weekend, Sunday leadoff is on Peacock and NBCSN. The Washington Nationals take on the Miami Marlins 12 Eastern. Then Sunday Night Baseball features these Detroit Tigers visiting the Kansas City Royals. Coverage begins 7 p.m. Eastern time for our entire crew. Matt Borzello, Corey Newmy, everybody down in the truck. Our statistician and Svita. For Mike Bassick, Dan Petrie, Anthony Rizzo, and Ahmed Fareed, I'm Jason Benetti. You've been watching Sunday Night Baseball on Peacock, presented by Capital One.